going on, guys? Today we're going to be talking about if my GoPro Hero 3 is still good to film with. Let me just start off by talking about some of GoPro specs. It came out in October 2013, before many of us had access to 4K cameras. A lot of big budget stuff were shooting 4K, but nobody in the consumer level were shooting 4K. But the GoPro Hero 3 Black Edition had 4K abilities, 4K sensor, I should say, because it shoots 4K at 15 frames per second. Now, a lot of you would say, what's the purpose of shooting 4K if it's only 15 frames per second? I actually use that a lot for time-lapse instead of taking pictures, because it had a 4:3 aspect ratio and this already had the 16:9, so all I had to do is just speed it up and it looked pretty good. It also shoots 2K at 24 frames per second, which I actually, whenever I'm using my GoPro, I use that setting all the time, unless I want to shoot something in slow motion. Then I go down to 1080p, which is 60 frames per second, which now it's not, 60 frames per second. Almost every camera offers that, except for some Canon cameras. But if you go down to 720p, you get 120 frames per second, and then 480p, you get 240 frames per second, which I've only used a couple times just to see what it looks like, or if I was fooling around with it. So that's the video specs. My GoPro, so I have a GoPro Hero 3 Black. My fiance has a GoPro Hero 3 White. My brother has a Hero 3 White Edition. And the Hero 3 White Edition still work in perfect condition. Mine, on the other hand, I want to say first off, before I say this, I used the heck out of this camera. Like, when I got it, I filmed everything, even things that you wouldn't even think of filming. Anyways, I probably used this almost every day when I had it. I would just make up videos just to be able to shoot with this, like popping balloons in slow motion or spit takes in slow motion, stuff like that. Anyways, the battery kept on dying really quickly, so I'm like, okay, I need a new battery. But after I got a new battery, I realized that wasn't working, so it had to have been the camera itself physically draining the battery. And I looked up, I called GoPro, I said, is there any way I can swap this for another Hero 3 Black? They said no, the warranty was expired, but they could give me $100 off a new one, which was nice, but I figured it's not a big deal. I have other GoPros, and so I actually stopped using this for a while. And just recently, not too recently, maybe the past year, I picked it up because I really needed a GoPro. So I tested it out, and the battery lasted for a full hour, which I thought was really weird. So GoPros, I think even the new ones, not just saying the old ones, are finicky with how they work, how they record, their battery lives. So the big question is, do you need to buy a new GoPro? And actually, GoPro almost went out of business because of this question. Recently, I read an article saying that GoPro was thinking about partnering or either selling their company to another company. And the main reason was because most consumers don't need a new GoPro because the footage looks good and it's built to last, unlike a lot of things built in today's society. So they were having a hard time selling new cameras because the old ones still worked really well and it fit the needs of most consumers. Of course, you have a lot of people that need the newest stuff, or filmmakers that need the highest quality stuff, so they get the new GoPros. That's a smaller group of people compared to the majority of people that are just buying it to record themselves on a road trip or surfing for fun, not people that are actually using it as a tool. So anyways, I'm gonna put some footage that I shot with this, and you can decide for yourself if this is still a good camera to use or if you need the brand new GoPro.